Hello, everyone. Welcome to World-Class Websites for Healthcare Professionals. Please put in the chat box if you can see my screen and if you can hear me talking. I'll just take a look and watch in the chat box. Please let me know when you can see the screen and you can hear me talking. I'm just going to wait a second for that to happen. Okay, great. Looks like we are ready to start. Welcome to World-Class Websites for Healthcare Professionals. I'm your host, Julie Musial, founder and CEO of Musial Marketing. Today we're going to be talking about website success secrets that reveal exactly why your website is not converting. In this short webinar, I'm going to focus on the main reasons why your online marketing website are not giving you the results you want. Specifically, I'm going to dive into website strategy, branding, copy, search engine optimization, and CRMs with autoresponders. At the end, I'm going to show you a case study. This will be based on years of industry studies and our own company research here at Musial Marketing. I'm also going to talk about why you need a professional digital marketing team to avoid wasting years of your time and possibly going out of business. I'm limiting this webinar to 30 minutes because I know your time is valuable. And for those of you who want to find out more, I'm going to tell you at the end how to get a free online marketing consultation directly with me. Today's webinar is strictly content, and I will not try to sell you anything. If you have questions, put them in the chat box. I'll answer as many questions as possible at the end. Here's what we understand about healthcare professionals. Many healthcare professionals see a need in their area of expertise with no current solution. So they build the solution and they want to sell it online to help more people. Other healthcare professionals may want to attract more patients to their practice. And in addition, some healthcare professionals get tired of working day to day with patients and want to showcase their expertise online and make passive income. More than one healthcare professional has told me, Julie, I've been crisis to death and I just don't want to do it anymore. We understand you're busy. Maybe you're stressed out. I know you have limited time, but that doesn't change the fact that you have a great idea to continue caring for patients, which will give you financial freedom and more balance in your life. The healthcare professionals we work with already have a lot of commitments, and therefore they need a turnkey solution that gives them 100% accuracy. I know from my own experience that finding this kind of help is not easy, which is why I created Musial Marketing. I'm going to share my story with you because most entrepreneurs and business owners can relate. How it all started for Musial Marketing was probably very similar to how you started your own business. Now, back in 2009, I was building my website with someone who was a videographer, and he kind of dabbled with websites on the side. Now, in 2009, WordPress was just becoming the biggest website platform in the world, but today it commands more than 1/3 of all websites worldwide and growing. Now, this gentleman created a website for me on the Joomla platform instead of WordPress, and he connected a WordPress blog. And after a while, he just decided to stop working with me. I couldn't use the Joomla platform myself because it's much more complex than WordPress, and I found out later that he made major search engine optimization mistakes. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't getting any SEO at all. In 2011, I created a WordPress website as a do-it-yourselfer, as I called them, and because of my marketing background, 30 years, I became obsessed with learning the platform, not uncommon for me. I read books, watch webinars, and went to seminars all over the country. I spent 4 years and just under 6 figures becoming an online marketing and WordPress expert. But I really didn't enjoy the technical part of building a website, and quite honestly, it takes a ton of time. What I personally enjoy is creating the marketing that goes along with the technology to make sure a website is attracting prospects and converting them into customers. I have yet to find a graphic designer or computer programmer who understands marketing fully. Designers and programmers really are intelligent, capable people who create pretty websites. But pretty websites are not enough. You need the marketing to go along with that technology to really be successful online. In 2012, I found a WordPress designer in Utah who helped me create my WordPress membership site, where I wrote my first WordPress course, my first blogging course, understanding Google course, and I wrote 8 social media courses. And I was doing fine until Christmas Eve. This WordPress web designer told me, Julie, I'm going back 9 to 5 to work for somebody else, and I can no longer help you with your technology. Merry Christmas to me, right? It's Christmas Eve. It stressed me out to the point I got so sick that I nearly ended up in the hospital. I remember being curled up in the fetal position because I was so sick. In 2013, I found myself really in a desperate need for a WordPress tech person. I hired an expensive firm who convinced me I should use different software than what I would have chosen, which of course was WordPress. The software was very expensive and it wasn't user-friendly. They tried to convince me that this was the way to do it. But because I was desperate for a solution, I listened. I knew it wasn't right. So in 2013, I found a graphic designer who listened to what I wanted. She saw my vision and she told me she could do exactly what I needed on WordPress without this expensive software. And guess what? She was right and she's still with me today. In 2015, I overhauled my website with yet another computer programmer and a high-end graphic designer. I needed my website to look as good as any of them out there, and I still have both of these people on my team as well. Since 2014, I've continued to build my team all over the United States. However, I only take on people who have an attitude of, if we don't know how to do it, we'll figure it out. And the job isn't done until the client is 100% happy. I don't want happening to the people that I work with the same thing that happened to me, because it was painful and it was a lot of money and it took a lot of time. I have a lot of people come to me with similar stories to my own painful journey. Think about it. Can you relate to anything that I just said? It's really my mission to help entrepreneurs and small business owners brand themselves online by getting clarity of who you really are. Articulate that message online. And we do that through messaging, storytelling, graphics, and video, so people see the authentic you. We do this through websites, social media, video, search engine optimization, email marketing, and funnel optimization sequences. Most entrepreneurs I work with have similar frustrating stories to my own online journey. Had I known back in 2009 what I now know about websites and marketing, I would have saved myself 3 to 4 years of time and thousands of dollars wasted. And that's why I built Musial Marketing, to save other entrepreneurs and small business owners from my own frustrations in wasted time and money. So in May of 2015, I published my second book, an Amazon #1 bestseller, Entrepreneur's Guide to Financial Freedom, 7 Steps to Selling Your Work Online. In this book, I share my expertise on what makes a website convert and how to attract people. If you're interested, you can find my book on Amazon or on my website. The link is on the screen, and you're also looking at it in the chat box. So make a note. You can click at it right in the chat box. You can do that after we're finished. I wrote this book so that anyone can understand it. And really, not so much that you do your own website, because I don't suggest that, but so that you know what you want to do when you hire people, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Most entrepreneurs know very little about websites and online marketing, so they end up making a lot of mistakes, like hiring the wrong people. You don't learn this stuff in college, right? And neither did I. The majority of entrepreneurs that come to me make the mistake of thinking a website graphic designer or a computer programmer can solve all their online problems. With a little bit of due diligence and knowing what to look for, you can make sure you hire the right people. What happens when you hire the wrong people? Most graphic designers really do care about how your website looks, but rarely do they think about how that affects the user's experience and, more importantly, search engine optimization. They end up putting things on your website that shouldn't be on there, or leaving out things that should be on it, or using software that slows down load time. Not only does this frustrate your visitor, but it also penalizes you with Google. If your website is slow, people are going to click off and go elsewhere. People are very impatient today. Graphic designers and programmers don't concern themselves with keyword research, search engine optimization, professional videos, customer acquisition, or copywriting. They'll ask you for the keywords and have you write your own copy, along with recording an unprofessional video if any video at all. Now let me ask you, do you feel qualified to do your own keyword research and to know what Google is looking for in your copy? Most people's copy is written so poorly that Google actually penalizes them for it, not to mention that Google updates their algorithm requirements regularly, and if you don't stay on top of this, you end up doing more harm than good. I'm not saying you don't know how to write. What I am saying is that you need to know how to write for both the customer and the search engines at the same time. The average website designer knows nothing about where to place items on your website. Placement is very important so that prospect's eye is led to where you want it to go, and placing it so that Google ranks it higher. Homepage videos should be professionally done and no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. Graphic designers don't concern themselves with your video and what it should look like. Do you really feel qualified to record a professional video or to know what to say to get customers? And finally, graphic designers and programmers know nothing about how to use a CRM autoresponder to create marketing funnel sequences to draw people into you. Now, I'm going to touch on each of these important areas with a little more emphasis on the coming slides. And I'm also going to include some before and after graphics for one healthcare practitioner that we've worked with. Most entrepreneurs get sidetracked by shiny objects. What's the newest, greatest thing out there? Do you find yourself buying stuff and not using it? Most entrepreneurs do. There are really 6 things you need to concern yourself with online. First and foremost, your website. It's got to look exceptional. Collect leads and turn those leads into customers. Your website is the most important piece of real estate that you own. More than 75% of the people go to the internet to research products and services before ever stepping foot inside your store or your practice. In some industries, it's closer to 100%. The 4 most important aspects of your website are the copy, the professional video, CRM autoresponder, and your SEO. And when I say SEO, I'm talking about search engine optimization. After the website is built and functioning, then you should use social media and other forms of marketing to push people to your website. If people land on your website and it doesn't look good, what kind of an impression are they getting? Your image begins with how you brand yourself online. Most people build their website with no thought to strategy. Very, very common. But strategy is the most important part, and it happens before anything on your website is ever built. At the end of 2015, there were more than 3.3 billion people online and more than 1 billion websites. With that much clutter, it's paramount that you clarify who you are and what you do online. For example, who are you trying to reach? What are their pain points? What do you do to solve their problems? And what makes you different? Hiring a graphic designer or computer programmer to build you an online presence that actually makes money is like sending your grandmother to a pediatrician. Now, why do I say that? Because while graphic designers and programmers know a lot about technical aspects of a website and how to make it pretty, they don't specialize in online marketing. And pretty websites alone won't make you money. It's the marketing behind the website that fuels the engine to attract and convert prospects to customers. That's why the average website converts less than 1%. In the example above, if 1,000 people dropped into your website from your efforts and less than 1% take action, that means that less than 10 people will take action. Is that worth your time and investment? And think about it. This example is higher than the average. And if you bring 1,000 people into your website, that's a lot of people. You put some effort into it. So you've got to make sure it's converting. Most of my clients find me after they realize their website isn't working to make them money, but rather it's costing them money. It's scaring people away. Many people think it's about finding the right technology, so they buy a bunch of stuff that they don't use. I know I was in that same boat about 4 or 5 years ago. When we build a website at Musial Marketing, we save our clients money instead of buying software that you really don't need. For example, when I started working with Dr. Jose Gomez, a world-renowned psychiatrist, he was subscribing to Infusionsoft, a top-of-the-line CRM system, for about $349 per month, but he wasn't utilizing the functions it provided. Now he uses MailChimp for around $80 a month. Dr. Gomez was paying about $300 per year to host videos on Wistia. He wasn't even using half the videos. Now he's on a free Wistia account with the same software. All of that combined is an annual savings of more than $3,500 per year. We find that most of our clients are paying far too much money for hosting as well. On the average, we save our clients about $400 per year on hosting fees. When I travel around the country, I see thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners trying to learn what they should do to be successful online. But the problem isn't always knowing what to do online. The problem is in finding and hiring the right people to do the job. Because I'm not saying you should do it. You just need to be educated to know what you want. So let's get into the main points we want to cover about building a world-class website for healthcare professionals. One of the biggest mistakes the typical website designer will make is creating all websites the same and thinking that all clients are the same. And we know that's not the case. Instead of spending the time to get clarity on what the customer really needs, they find a template they like for websites and use that template for every client they have. Now, graphic designers and programmers spend very little time finding about your unique situation and almost no time on the marketing. At Musial Marketing, we spend a minimum of a half a day with you on just our client intake form alone. The key is the marketing message and focusing in on what makes you different to the right niche. For example, you want to get clarity on who do you serve, your niche. What do you do, the benefits, and how are you different, your story. Online marketing really is nothing more than clarifying the ultimate promise you deliver, the problems you solve, who you serve, and authentically articulating through your website using messaging, storytelling, graphics, video, and SEO. And most graphic designers and programmers know nothing about how to tell a story and make Google happy at the same time. Your ultimate promise or result must be more valuable than the time, the money, the effort, and attention you're asking somebody to make with you. Have you ever heard of an elevator speech? A lot of people have a hard time articulating a quick elevator speech of what they do. So what you want to think about is use a you-know-when statement. What I mean by that, use a you-know-when statement to come up with your promise or your elevator speech. Here's our you-know-when statement in Musial Marketing. For example, you know when you're talking to someone and they ask you about your website and you cringe? Well, I help people brand their business through storytelling and messaging that's authentic to you and ultimately attract prospects and convert them into customers. Now that was quick. It said exactly what we do. So if you have a hard time coming up with that elevator speech, and most people do, pretend you're in a conversation with somebody and use a you-know-when statement. Instead of focusing on the wrong things, like buying a new expensive piece of software or a get-rich-quick scheme, we use many strategies to focus on building your own tribe with your website and building your email list so that you can more intimately continue to market to them. We help you build your email list by driving people to your website through channels like your branded social media, Facebook ads, blogging, podcasting, search engine optimization, videos, press releases, newsletters, also called e-zines. Now, I'm not saying you have to do all of this. I'm just saying you need to do something. And once you have your own tribe of people on your email list, you can more intimately market to them by using your CRM autoresponder, getting into their inbox instead of hoping they see you on a social media post or through a paid ad. Social media is not where you want to talk to people because you don't own your social media platforms and the rules can change daily. Remember MySpace? If you're old enough, it went bye-bye. That can happen to any social media platform any day. You want to use social media and other online forms of communication to lead people to your website because you own your website and you own your email list. And this gives you control to market to people through your CRM autoresponder, people that have interest in you. There are many different autoresponders to choose from with no one-size-fits-all. You may have heard of products such as MailChimp, iContact, Aweber, Entreport, and Infusionsoft. We fit you for the right autoresponder based on your current and future need, but we also keep your budget in mind. Marketing strategies are then set up through your autoresponder. Your initial strategy is to offer a free gift, deliver that gift, and then identify another problem. And next, through a marketing offer, you craft a solution. Then deliver on your solution after they buy. Once you have people that buy from you, they're more likely to buy from you again. If you have strategies set up to market to them. Using your autoresponder, set up another problem solution sequence and sell more to your existing tribe. One of the biggest mistakes I see in online marketing today are entrepreneurs and business owners of all sizes not utilizing marketing funnel sequences properly, if all. I can't tell you how many people I've seen have Infusionsoft and they're not even using the capabilities. So you shouldn't be spending the money to own it. For those of you who are visual, here's a slide that shows how a CRM autoresponder works. The initial strategy first is to offer a free gift, deliver the gift, and then identify another problem. The gift can be things like videos, articles, tips, ebooks, coupons, white papers, free consultation, and the list really is limitless depending on your business. And then next, through an offer, craft a solution. Then deliver your paid solution. Once you have people that buy from you, they're more likely to buy from you again. If you have strategies set up to market them, but that's the key. You have to have the strategy set up to market to them. Using your autoresponder, set up another problem solution sequence and sell more to your existing tribe. Continue to identify the patient or customer's next big challenge as they move through your marketing funnel. If you don't know what your patient's challenges are, listen to what they ask you for and craft a problem solution marketing funnel sequence which solves their problem. So let's look at a case study. What you're looking at is the homepage of an e-commerce healthcare client when we began working with them. The first picture is everything you see above the fold on their website. Above the fold means you don't have to scroll down on a laptop. The second picture is everything you see below the fold on the homepage. Now, several problems exist here. First, there is no copy above the fold that Google is recognizing for search engine optimization because it's in a picture. Because pictures do not register with Google. We don't expect you to know this, and the average designer or programmer doesn't know it either, because remember, they're just worried about a pretty website. Your homepage should be designed to tell people what you do in 10 seconds. If you're an average consumer, you don't read much copy because today we all have information overload, right? I know I do. The video series offered below the fold was not connected to a CRM to collect names for future marketing. You just click and view the videos immediately, which is a huge wasted marketing opportunity. Next, there's no professional video above the fold to tell their story. Videos give you warmth by personalizing a cold website. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, the value of a short video is worth tens of thousands of words. In addition, there's no ultimate promise or ultimate benefit above the fold. People don't know what you don't tell them. This homepage doesn't explain what they do until the very bottom in black where it says, proven to prevent blood clot formation. But the average consumer will never read this copy because it's so far down the page and it's hidden. Your ultimate promise should be visible within 10 seconds of looking at your homepage. What you're seeing now is the revised homepage above the fold. Two major headlines. Number one, on the clearly labeled video, PE can kill you. And below the green arrow, the Medshula compression pump can save your life. This is a really good example of problem solution. Now you can see what this company does within 10 seconds. We also made sure that all of the most important keywords are above the fold because Google puts the most emphasis on what is above the fold on a website. Now, we don't expect you to know this, and graphic designers and programmers don't know it either. Next, they have their first opt-in freebie, Are You at Risk? Click here to find out, above the fold on the homepage. The use of the color yellow brings the eye to the opt-in. Color should be used very strategically. Notice the opt-in button is the only yellow used above the fold on this page. When someone opts into Are You at Risk? Click here to find out, then the names and emails go directly to their CRM where they can continue to more intimately market information with product solution sequences. So what you're looking at now is the middle of the home page. On top of the page was the problem, followed by the solution. The pictures are demonstrating how compact, portable, and easy the pump is to use. What you're looking at now is the bottom of the home page. It has a buy button that jumps out because it's the only yellow on the page. Again, a really good use of color. Most graphic designers make everything match, which is a huge mistake. You want to use color to lead the eye to go where you want it to go. If you have an e-commerce site, you should have a buy button on every single page. This page also shows a demonstration video which collects contact information in their CRM for future problem solution marketing. At the very bottom are social media share buttons. These are different than social connect buttons, and most graphic designers don't put these on websites, which is a huge marketing mistake. By clicking on one of these buttons, you can share with more than 30 different social media platforms, and you can use direct email as well. Wouldn't you want that on your website? I certainly would. What you're looking at now is an opt-in for a free download. It's found on a different page. When you click on the opt-in, you go to a landing page. Landing pages are also known as squeeze pages, so if you get confused by that term, it means the same thing. So it's on a landing page, which gives you more information about what you're opting into. The CRM collects your name and email, which sends out the document download and a thank you page. The opt-in freebies can be just about anything, as I said, from articles, tips, videos, podcasts, coupons, industry how-tos, free consultation, and the list goes on and on. On the thank you page, you tell the person they'll be getting additional valuable information through the autoresponder. And if they don't want the information, they should just simply unsubscribe. What you're really saying is, I'm going to continue to offer you problem solution marketing sequences, and if you don't want it, just unsubscribe. The key is use a 90-10 rule. 90% give them great content, and 10% go ahead and make a sales offer. Today's statistics show that it takes 7 touches online before somebody will buy. Once they buy, they go into a second problem solution campaign. Buyers buy more. When Schmedschule went live with their website, they went from getting 0 opt-ins for over a year to almost instant opt-ins and drastically increased sales of their product in a very short time. I remember I called the owner of this website about a week after, and he was tickled pink at what the results were. If you're thinking, sure, Julie, that works for products, but not in acquiring patients, what you need to realize is that a service is indeed an intangible product. Using your website, you need to educate and sell the benefits of your service. For example, if you're a chiropractor, the average person has no idea how important the health of your spine really is. I know I didn't until I had some major back problems. And if you're a chiropractor, you know that back and neck problems are really coming on for years. You could offer an initial free consultation, which you may already do, but to get the free consultation, the person has to sign up online. Bingo! You just received their name, an email which is collected by your CRM. You can then continue to educate this person using the 90-10 rule, 90% valuable content information and 10% sales offer. If somebody becomes a patient that has not opted in online, include a line on your intake form asking for permission to send them health-related spinal information and then get their email. By education, you'll be showing your extensive knowledge in your area of expertise and gaining the trust of the consumer. Through problem solution, you continue to market to your list using your autoresponder optimization funnels. The opportunities are really endless once you have somebody in your CRM autoresponder. You could use, as I said, educational videos, articles, testimonials. You could use a refer a friend, and the list really goes on and on. Today, I shared just a couple strategies with you, and I hope I haven't overwhelmed you. It's really easy to do that when you talk about online marketing. There are many other strategies we use, but I don't want to overwhelm you, and I know your time is valuable. In today's technological world, your website is the most valuable piece of real estate you own, even if you have a brick and mortar building. Today, the masses go to the internet for information, even if they get a referral. And if you don't market your website the right way, You lose many marketing opportunities every day. Think about it. Even with a referral, somebody's still going to go to your website. I know it's what I do. Think about your own behavior. Remember the 5 most important elements that you need on your website: the optimized copy, the professional video, professional search engine optimization, your CRM autoresponder with sequence marketing funnels, and social media to drive people to your website. Merely having a pretty website will not get you the results you're looking for. And once you build your website and your marketing funnels the right way, the next step is to continue to use marketing attraction strategies. But in order to keep this webinar short, I'm going to move on to how you can get a free online marketing assessment for your website and your overall online marketing. What you're seeing here is the opt-in from our homepage on musialmarketing.com. If you copy the link below in orange and put it in your browser, it'll take you to the Musial Marketing free consult page where you can enter your name, email, and telephone number. I'm going to enter that in the chat box right now. Second page will come up with 8 questions. Answer the 8 questions on the second page and set up a free online marketing assessment with me where I will personally look at your website. The value of this opportunity is priceless because I'll look at your website and tell you how you can improve your website and drastically increase your conversion immediately. If you don't have a website, we can discuss how to set it up right from the start. Here's what one person said to me after her online marketing discovery session. Julie, I'm blown away by the value you just gave me on what I should be doing on my website. I had no idea that I was doing all that stuff wrong. I won't try to sell you anything on this discovery session unless you ask me, Julie, how can I work with you? The fact is, if your website isn't converting, we can change that. If your website is dated or you don't have one at all, or if your competition looks much better than you, you may never have a shot at attempting to acquire that person as a patient or as a customer. I hope this webinar was valuable for you. For more information, you can also take a look at our website, musialmarketing.com. And at the top of my homepage is an opt-in to get our list of top 20 tools for online marketing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the chat box and I'm going to take a look and see. I got to weed through the comments and I'm going to take a look and see what kind of questions we have. Give me 1 second, please. And I'm going to take a sip of water quick. And if you're listening to this broadcast on a recorded form, just you can send us a question at support@musialmarketing.com. First question that I see here, how do people find my website? That's a great question. First, think about it. It's necessary to optimize the pages of your website using the proper keywords and keyword phrases. It's also necessary to set your website up in a way that Google can read it correctly. To do that, we use highly skilled search engine optimization people. And it's recommended, you don't have to do all of this, but you want to blog or podcast or create videos on a regular basis because Google loves change and they're going to continue to rank these new pages. If you leave your website stagnant or you don't do anything, they'll stop ranking it. So you want to do something. Figure out what, you're not going to feel comfortable at first to do all of this, but step out of your comfort zone and, push yourself. And once you start doing something, I know from experience, it gets so much easier. You also want to use a combination of some social media and press releases to drive people to your website. By using things like sending an e-zine, which I said is an online newsletter, to your email list, people are going to continue to visit. And the really cool thing is they may share it with their community of people. So the more you do the social media, the e-zines, that kind of thing, they may share it with their community of people, and it opens you up to a whole new world of people. You can also buy ads. You can buy Google ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads. With our own clients, we've had great success with Facebook ads. You may be on this webinar from a Facebook ad that you saw online because we use them for our own business and they're highly successful. You don't have to do all of this, but the more you do, the higher you may rank with the search engines. Next question. Let me take a look here. What social media should I use, Julie? The social media that you use depends on who is your ideal client and what platforms are they using. You really only need to be using the social media platforms that your ideal client uses, and what do they use the most? Facebook, for example, would be a good example to reach the masses in general. Instagram is good with younger people. LinkedIn, of course, is business to business. Google Plus is more geared to men, engineer types, technical people. They tend to be more serious. You may have found that out on Google Plus. Twitter has a phenomenal search engine, and it's used by more men. A lot of people are afraid of Twitter, but it has this great search engine that you can search for conversations. That's a whole nother conversation in itself. Let's take a look at another question here. How long is an online marketing discovery session? Typically, they're about an hour, depending on how many questions you have. If you've got a lot of questions, I'll stay on the phone as long as you want to. They can. I think the longest I've seen is 90 minutes, but typically they're closer to an hour. Next question. How come website designers and programmers don't know this stuff? That's a really good question. Graphic designers, they don't study sales or marketing. It's just not part of their curriculum. Designers and programmers are good at designing a pretty website or creating highly technical websites. The programmers are on the technical side. The designers are on the pretty side. Here at Musial Marketing, it's not uncommon for us to have two on the same job because the programmers, they have a tougher time being graphically, they're not graphically gifted. So we'll have the programmer do the technical, we'll have the designer do the pretty. And, of course, then we need the search engine optimization and all the other parts that go with it. But marketing people are in the field of study of how to reach people and what makes them buy. You need both a nice looking, highly functional website that's set up in a way to attract and convert people to buy your product and service. Let's see here, next question. Can't I just buy your book? I'd love it if you bought my book. And as I said, this is not a sell job. I don't make a ton of money as a matter of fact. I make very little off of books, but I'd love it if you bought my book. I wrote this book so that anybody can understand it. My book runs through all areas of online marketing and how to set it up. And the key is to find people that can do it for you. If you try to do it yourself, it's going to take you 6 to 12 months. And most likely, it still won't get you the results you want. It's important to know what's in the book because really arming yourself with the knowledge will allow you to tell your team what your objective is. If you don't know the capabilities of what's available online, how do you tell someone what you want if they don't ask? And typically they don't ask, they just assume, and then you end up with something that you don't want. At Musial Marketing, as I said, we take a half a day on your intake form alone. We find out what's your objective, and we put together a plan and strategy to achieve it. Let's see here, a couple more questions. How do I know what to offer for an opt-in freebie? I get that question all the time, and I can't tell you how many people think they have nothing for an opt-in freebie when the exact opposite is truly the case. We work with so many people on this question, and by going through the intake form that we do initially, together we come up with more than one opt-in freebie. And many times it's easier for somebody on the outside looking in, because when you're in your business, it's so hard. Sometimes you can't see the trees through the forest, but someone on the outside, it's so much easier for them to come up with the opt-in freebie. Let's see here, getting down to the end of the questions. I think this is the last question. How do you know what CRM autoresponder to use? That's also another good question. There's a lot that goes into it. And depending on your present and future marketing needs, we determine which CRM is best suited for you. The more expensive the CRM, the more functionality it has in terms of targeting, sorting, tagging, that kind of thing. As I said, in the case of Dr. Jose Gomez, he was using Infusionsoft because he thought he needed it. But after we looked at his situation, he wasn't using most of what was available in Infusionsoft. And Infusionsoft is a phenomenal product if you're going to use it. It's the Cadillac, but it's also the most expensive. And if you don't need the Cadillac, if you don't need the features, you don't, why waste that money? So then we put him on MailChimp, which is exactly where he needed. Then what we found was he needed to upgrade because he needed some more features. So we would upgrade him next to probably, there's one called SendPepper, which is a stepsister of Ontraport. Very, very good system, much less expensive than Infusionsoft. And it's not as hard to switch autoresponders as one would think, depending on how many opt-ins and that kind of thing. But if you have access to good virtual assistants, you can. It's not that major today to switch your autoresponder. So how do you know what CRM autoresponder to use? It just depends on your situation. So that's the end of the questions. If you have any more, I'm going to end the broadcast, but I'll keep the chat line open for those of you that are here online live. If you are watching the recording, feel free to send us a question at support@musialmarketing.com. Would love to answer your question. And please sign up for a free online marketing consultation. I promise you, this is worth its weight in gold. We don't put these out there lightly. I have a passion for doing this. I have your best interest at heart. This is not going to be a sell job. This is going to be worth your time. So I thank you for watching the broadcast. I look forward to seeing you on the other side on an online marketing consultation. Have a phenomenal day.